Hello, I'm Alexandra. I am the host of the Money, Motherhood, and Manifestation podcast. I am so excited to be with you today. Today, we're going to dive into a topic, and it might be a little triggering. We're going to talk about becoming a rich mompreneur. We're going to talk about rejecting toxic mom culture, and that's the part that might be a little triggering, and then shifting your belief systems to having it all. And one thing I just want to talk about, the most important job in the world, hands down, is motherhood. Absolutely motherhood. We are responsible for life. We are responsible for creating humans. We're responsible for creating just this entire planet, right? If there was no mother, there would be no babies. There would be no children. Then as a mother, we have the responsibility of feeding that baby, keeping that baby alive, fueling that baby with love and tender and teaching manners and how to flush the toilet and how to wash your hands, and then hoping and putting everything into that child to go out into this world and become a responsible, healthy, contributing adult to society, right? There's no greater role in the world of being a mother. And until you become a mother, that's something that you just don't understand. And so it really is something that almost, it hurts me when you hear a mom say, maybe she's at a cocktail party, maybe it's you at a cocktail party, maybe with your husband, whatever. And someone asks, oh, what do you do? And you go, oh, I'm just a mom. We need to change that. Okay. You're not just a mom. You are responsible for creating this incredible new future. You're like, same thing with teachers. That's a whole other topic, right? You are responsible for growing the next generation and creating a young, healthy adult. So I really want to change that mindset. But here's where we get into that mindset of, oh, I'm just a mom, right? Here's kind of where that goes. It's like, oh, well, maybe I had this huge, high power career. Maybe I feel like I've had to give up a part of myself because moms, as we know, the moment you become pregnant, the moment you give birth, and so on your motherhood journey, like, you are never the same from before you became pregnant. You are never the same until you deliver that baby. You are never the same, right? Your entire world changes as a mother. And so maybe we feel like, oh, well, I'm now just a stay-at-home mom. And I think that as a culture, we have wanted women to quote unquote, do it all. We wanted women to be the high income producer. We wanted the mom to also be the stay-at-home mom. We wanted the mom to do all these things. And I think that there's so many opportunities now for moms to get into this bulk or into this place of what do I do next? I was a career woman. Now I have to ask my husband for money. And that's okay. It's okay to be a stay-at-home mom. It's also okay to be a career mom. You may be in a situation where you're like, Alexandra, you don't understand. I am the breadwinner. I have to get up at 5 a.m. every single day to get ready, to get out the door, to get my kids ready for school, to make lunches, to drop my kid off at daycare. And then I am home at 7:30 at night because I'm working all day and I have traffic and I have pickup and I have this and I have that. And you don't understand. And that's not what I'm saying. There's different types of a reality. And I am not knocking any of it. I'm not knocking the stay-at-home mom. I'm not knocking the career mom. I'm not knocking the mom that's like, I have to work 3 jobs in order to survive. But what I really want to talk about here is there is another way, and there are other opportunities for us to have what we want. And then this is why I create this podcast, right? This is why I have the Mysterious Mompreneur coaching. This is why I have the Money, Motherhood, and Manifestation, right? Money is something that it makes our lives, gives us freedom, gives us the opportunity to go do things with our kids, go do things with our husbands, go do things with our family. And a lot of times we feel like maybe when we become a mother, that opportunity may have been taken away from us. Again, back to this, oh, I'm just a mom, right? So that's why I have this podcast, is I want us to address these sensitive topics. I want to embrace, oh my goodness, being a mommy. There is no better, greater gift in the world to become a mommy. But hey, I get it. It's hard. And we can so easily get put in this toxic mom culture because when we become a mom, our kids are our mirror. They bring out everything. We've all heard the saying like, oh, like we had kids because we thought it'd make our marriage better. No, it's not going to make your marriage better. It's going to make your marriage harder. So it's about having that foundation in your family. Your children bring everything out, right? They bring everything out. I have been that mom where I'm like, it is 10 a.m. and I need that bottle of wine. I have been that mom where it's like, oh my gosh, it is 9 a.m. What am I going to do the rest of the day? How am I going to get through that day, right? I have been that mom where you snap at your child and you're like, oh, that wasn't who I am. That's not what I am. And where does that come from? That comes from a dysregulated nervous system. And that's something I get into in other podcasts. As you know, I talk about it on my website. I talk about it on Instagram. I talk about nervous system work. It is so, so, so important. But when we're in that dysregulated nervous system standpoint is when we snap at our kids and we need that bottle of wine and we react and we're reactive to our children. We're not proactive. And one of the things that I have learned is my emotions come up if I'm reactive and if I'm not regulated. I will get into in a whole other podcast kind of what my morning looks like so that I can be the best mom possible to my son, the best wife possible to my husband, the best mompreneur to my business, what I prioritize in my life. That is a whole other episode and we won't get into that right now. I want to get back to that toxic mom culture though. It's so easy for us to judge other mommies, right? It's so easy for us to go to the park and be like, oh, well, that mom's on her phone the whole time. Oh, or that mom's giving her kid crap, just feeding her kid crap. Or that mom, oh, that's the mom that makes everything. Oh, that's the mom that does this and that. And you don't know what that mom's day has been like. And so I want us to get away from that. I want us to embrace all motherhood. I want us to embrace all types of mothers. And I also want us to realize that we can choose to be the mom that stays up to midnight drinking that bottle of wine and scrolls through her Instagram, scrolls through her TikTok, scrolls and binge watches because she feels she deserves to watch Netflix all night because she's been at home with her kids all day and she needs this. Or we can decide, okay, you know what? I'm doing this because of my children. I'm going to change my outcome because I'm a mom. I'm going to change my habits because I'm a mom. So here's the thing. We have this opportunity to grow and look at our own shit as a mom. And you get to decide who you are going to be in motherhood. This is a huge aha moment. This was a huge aha moment for me. Because, again, we see things on Instagram or we see things in society or we're supposed to be this way, like I mentioned earlier in this podcast. Oh, we're supposed to have a career. Oh, we're supposed to work. And we're supposed to do it all. And you're supposed to do this. And you're supposed... No. You get to decide who you want to be as a mommy. You get to decide who you're showing up as. And again, you may be in a financial situation. And you're like, Alexandra, I have to work. You don't get it. I do get it. I do get it. But you get to decide how you want to show up. What patterns are going to fall into place. You can decide to neglect your own self-worth in this process of becoming a mom. I know when I first had my son Clinton, like it was like 12 days before I washed my hair. And I posted that on Instagram and someone's like, girl, have your husband watch the baby so you can wash your hair. And you're like, you don't understand. If I get 45 minutes to myself, I don't want to wash my hair. I just want to take a nap. You know what I mean? Washing your hair takes time. I don't want to do that. I just want to lay down. I want to sleep. So my point is you get to decide if you're that mom that neglects herself or you get to decide if you're that mom that fuels herself into motherhood. We get into that toxic culture of being that mom that's like, oh, it's all about my children. It's my children first. We've never had a babysitter. I've never left my child. And you get into this like, oh, I can't. I have to sacrifice everything my children. Or you could look at it and say, no, I'm also here to be, it was my husband and I first. It was our marriage first. We're going to go on dates. My point is, don't feel guilty. The mom guilt. I haven't touched on that. Don't feel guilty about the way that you're raising your children. Don't feel guilty about there's things you potentially want to change. There's dynamics that don't work for you that you could always ask for help. There's always other ways. So here's what I want to get to when it comes to the money, the motherhood, and the manifestation. What is it you want? Truly, what is it you want? Not what society tells you should have as a mom. Not what your mom tells you should have as a mom, not what your grandmothers did as a mom, not what your next door neighbor is doing as a mom, not what the other moms at school are doing as moms. What do you want as a mom? Do you want that high-powered career? Great. Do you want to be a stay-at-home mom? Great. Do you want to have maybe a little bit of balance and say, hey, I want to have a career, I want to earn income, but I also want to be making cookies with my children after school? Great. What is it you want? And I think this is the number one thing that happens when we are talking about toxic mom culture, when we are talking about manifestation, which is what this podcast is all about. But we don't ever say what we want. What do I want? What does Alexandra want? I'll tell you what Alexandra wants. Alexandra desperately wants to be at home with her children. I want to be there when my children wake up. I want to be able to make cookies with my little boy. I want to be able to go on field trips. Not that we're there yet because we're only 4. I want to go on field trips. I want to be able to show up at school. If my little boy is sick, I want to be home. I don't want to have to call my boss and say, I got to take a sick day because my son's sick. I want to travel with my husband. I want to have alone time with my husband. But you know what else I want? I want to earn money. I am also put here to be an entrepreneur. And so I don't want to let that go. I don't want to let that part of me go. Now, there are ebbs and flows. There's times in motherhood, as we know, where you're like, this is not the time, right? You have a 2-month-old that is spitting up on you, and that's your priority. Moms, we remember those days, right? But then there's other times where you're like, wow, I have time to my son just started school 5 days a week. Do you guys know what that's like to have that type of freedom to be like, oh my gosh, I have 25 hours to my life back. I have 25 hours a week to myself to work on my business. Okay. So that's what Alexandra wants, but it's not about what I want. What do you want? And this is, I don't want bullshit. I don't want you saying, oh, well, I should want. No, what do you want for your life? This is a very important part of the money motherhood manifestation, because you can't just read a book on motherhood. You guys know that. You're a mom. When you become a mom, there is something in you that just changes. You are never the same, right? You can't just read a book about money, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. You can't just read a book about manifestation. You need to make changes in your life, and you need to prioritize things in your life. So that is why we're here. That is why we're talking about nervous system regulation. That's why we're talking about motherhood. If you feel you are blocked in your motherhood journey, if you feel like that hose has a kink in it, you are blocking all other aspects of your life, right? If one thing is blocked, the other things are blocked. You're not able to receive other beautiful things in your life, other miracles in your life. Your motherhood journey is going to be an uphill battle, and that's not what we want. We want ease. We want grace. We want love. We want joy. We want to enjoy this journey with our children because we got one chance when they're little. One chance, right? All right, my friends, I'm excited to see you in the next episode. Also, we have a Facebook group. Okay, I love it. It's Digital Marketing Secrets for Mompreneurs. It is all about being a mommypreneur. We are talking about toxic mom culture. I cannot wait to hear what you have to say in it. This is for moms who want to learn the secrets of digital marketing success, manifest their business goals, create financial freedom, all while embracing the joys and the challenges of being a mommy. In there, I do have some, I don't want to call it homework, that can stress us out, but I do have some journal prompts. I do think it's really important. I journal daily. I reflect daily. I journal daily on motherhood, money, manifestation, marriage, all of it. But I definitely have some prompts over there, and I can't wait to hear what you have to say about this episode and hear about your journey. All right, my friend, I will see you in the next episode.